Good morning, class. I welcome you all to yet another session of YouTube, wherein we discuss lesson from English Honeydew text, English Supplementary, and English grammar to be precise. So today, I've decided to take up the second lesson of English Supplementary text with the lesson being named Children at Work. You are all well aware of the term children, isn't it? Children is the plural of the word child. Okay. So at work, of course, they might be engaged in some kind of work and all. What does this story read about? Let's find out. Okay. By reading the preface. So let's start without any further delay. Here we are. There is a bit of a preface here. So we'll just try to read the preface and see what this story is about. Okay. So give me a moment. Yeah. Children at work. See, there are many reasons why children have to work. Some help their family make a livelihood. Others who run away from unhappy homes need to support themselves. Children who have to work can go to school and play like other children of their age. You must have seen this, isn't it? There is a concept called child labor which is illegal in India. But still, if you may have gone specially to North India or for that matter in several parts of country, you must have seen young children like you, younger than you, engage in different sort of work. Some work in small hotels, some work in factory sites, some work as laborers, these and that. Okay. So plenty of reasons are highlighted behind the reason why young children of your age work. Some of them could be due to poor family background. The other could be some children, they run away from their family and homes for number of reasons like broken home and all, because they are basically unhappy. Okay. So if you're on your own, you've got to support yourself by working, isn't it? Remember, it's very painful statistics. Painful situation to be precise, because there are so many children who are not able to go to school in India, and they have to support their family by working from a very young age, an age where they should have, invested in making a personality out of their own life. Okay. So here we are. Let's find out. This story as well is divided into three parts. We'll read one by one the parts. So see, there is a bit of preface, a warm up for first part also. We'll just try to read and understand what this is about. It says value. An 11-year-old boy runs away from home. He wanders. Wanders means roams about without any particular purpose for hours before getting on a train to Chennai without a ticket. Okay, he gets onto a train to Chennai without a ticket. Now he's tired as well as hungry. He doesn't know where to go. When a stranger at the station shouts a word of welcome, there is a stranger at the station, he or she, whosoever he meets, will have a welcoming tone, seemingly. So, what do you think, children? Should he respond to the unknown, strange sound, or should he just go with the flow? We'll just read to find out. Okay. So it says when the Kanyakumari Express, Kanyakumari, you all know, I guess, what Kanyakumari Express is. Refers to name of railway which runs at a very good speed. Okay. It pulled in. Pulled in here refers to stop. Okay, I'll just read them. When the Kanyakumari Express pulled in at Chennai Central, it took Velu some time to get off. When he finally stood on the platform, his legs felt wobbly, as if he was still on a moving train. Way! Out of the way! A porter went by with a loaded trolley. Velu jumped aside. Okay. So now Kanyakumari Express, as written here, pulled in means stopped at a Chennai Central. Chennai Central here refers to the station. Okay. So Velu, with great difficulty, he get off the plane. He get off the train, to be precise. Okay. So when he was standing on the platform, his legs were feeling wobbly. It felt as though he was still in the train, moving. Okay. So as he was trying to get in terms with where he was, suddenly somebody shouts, "Hey, get out of the way!" It was actually a porter. Now, who's a porter in Hindi? We call a porter is known as coolie. Okay, these are people who lift your luggages and all if you are traveling by train, especially. So a coolie shouts, "Hey, get out of the way!" So Velu jumps aside to pave way to coolie. Okay. So he sat on a bench on the platform, putting his small bundle down. In all his 11 years, so Velu was just an 11-year-old boy. He had never seen so many people, except once a year at this fair in his village. People walked by, bumping into him with their suitcases. A voice announced something on a loudspeaker. Near him, a group of people sat on their luggage looking at a TV hanging from the roof. The noise was terrible. Alright, so this is described from the point of view of an 11-year-old boy. Okay, so Velu, as he tries and settle down at the platform, he just sits on a bench with his small bundle. Bundle here refers to his luggage. He did not bring any bag and all because he was on the run, isn't it? So he says, in all his 11 years, he had never seen so many people, except for one occasion in his village. Every year they used to hold this fun fair. Okay, he says he used to see so many people at such fairs only. Never ever in his life had he seen so many people. Okay. So people were very busy as he was observing. People were moving, they walked by, they were bumped, they pushed into him with their suitcases, and there were momentary, occasional announcement, not momentary, occasional announcements. Okay. And people were staring at a television screen, which particularly was providing all the information as to when a train was arriving, when was it supposed to leave, and all the other detail of passengers who were standing by to board on. Okay, get on the train. So Velu, the noise was terrible because it was very crowded. Okay, so let's continue reading, class. Here we are. Velu put his head down on his knees, feeling miserable and exhausted. So Velu was feeling tired and really bad. He had run away from his village 2 days ago. So he was on the run. It was already 2 days. For 2 days he had eaten nothing but some peanuts and a piece of jaggery. You all know what jaggery is, I believe. It's good in Hindi. Okay. So he had eaten nothing but some peanuts and a piece of jaggery. Now in his bundle, what did he carry? He carried a shirt, a towel, and a comb. Alright, so he had made a very childish plan because he was out already. Of course, he was a child, so he would be making childish plan only. So it was already 2 days. He had eaten nothing, but he was surviving on peanuts and jaggery. Alright, he had walked for most of the first day to Kannur. Alright, and then got on the train to Chennai. So most of the first day was spent on walking. So he must be extremely tired. He spent most of the first day on walking to Kannur, and then somehow he managed to get onto the train to Chennai. Velu had no money for a ticket, but luckily the TC or TT that we call ticket collector didn't come to the unreserved compartment. He was sitting in an unreserved compartment. Okay, not very ideal for family and all to travel. He had tried to sleep on the floor near the door. So Velu somehow tried to sleep on the floor near the door. Alright. A group of men next to him had played cards and shouted all night. So there were some burly people who were playing cards and shouted all the night. Okay. Hey, what? New to the town, eh? Called a rough voice. So somebody was approaching him. He says, "Arey, you are new to town." Velu opened his eyes. There were a lot of people standing around, but nobody was looking at him. So somebody was calling. Velu was looking here and there, but he couldn't find anyone. The voice called him back. He says, "Here, hey!" So this time, he turned around. He turned around. Behind him was a girl around his age, and she was wearing a banyan. Banyan refers to vest. Okay. She was wearing a banyan. Banyan is the Hindi word of vest that came down to her knees. So she was wearing a banyan which was not of her age, seemingly for an older person. Her hair was stiff and brownish. So our hair becomes stiff and brownish when we do not take care of our hair, isn't it? So the girl who had come to meet Velu was not very well groomed, it seems. So she had a huge sack on her shoulder. She had a very huge sack on her shoulder. Okay. What was she doing? She was picking up dirty plastic cups from the floor and stuffing into her sack. So she was picking all dirty plastic cups from the floor and then putting them back into her bag. Okay. So Velu thought, why is she calling me? And why is a girl wearing a banyan? So Velu had never seen a girl wearing banyan. He was wondering what is the reason. So as you can see in the picture, you see, he's wearing a banyan, right? And does not look very well groomed. Yeah. So now let's move on. No need to stay stupidly. What's your name? Velu. Velu, muttered Velu, looking away. So the girl was asking, what is your name, Velu? In a very soft voice, said, Velu. So, Mr. Velu, said girl, looking at his bundle, run away from home. So the girl seemed to have known by looking at Velu that he had run away from home. Alright. Velu didn't answer. He didn't want to tell some strange girl what he had done. He never wanted to share this because he had actually run. He had run away because he couldn't stand his father beating him for one more day. So this is very, very shocking, isn't it? His father used to beat him, it seemed. So he could not stand this anymore. His father would snatch away all the money Velu and his sisters earned and spend it on drink. So this is one very bad habit, class. Drinking has damaged so many lives, children's lives especially. Okay, so Velu's father had a very bad habit. The habit was he used to beat Velu. He used to beat Velu, not only beat Velu, he used to do some other things also. He used to snatch away, take away the hard earned money of Velu and his sister, and he used to spend it all on drink. Okay. So the girl continues speaking. She says, don't think I don't know. This place is full of children like you. So what are you going to do here? Become rich. So the girl is asking, hey, what are you doing here? You came here to become rich. Alright. She sat down next to him and Velu shifted away slightly. Velu was trying to avoid her. Okay. He felt hunger pinching in him and pressed his stomach with a grimace. He was feeling very sad and hungry at the same time. So the girl asked, hungry? And then she continues to say, you won't get food by sitting here glumly. Means sitting here with a sad face is not what is, isn't what going to provide you food. So she says, sitting here glumly making faces, I can find some if you want. So the girl was lending a helping hand. She said, if you want to have some food, I can help you find some. Okay. Now what happens? Let's find out. She picked up her sack and started to walk away. Velu stayed on the bench. What should he do, class? Should he follow this girl? Where was she going to take? She was disappearing into the crowd. So she was quickly mingling into crowd. Now Velu had to make his decision in a split second, very quickly. Right? Alright, he decided. Anyway, I have no idea where to go. So Velu, the place was new to Velu. He had no idea where to go, what to do. So he decided to follow suit and follow the girl. He jumped up and ran after her. She wasn't even looking back to see where he was. Okay. So there is this comprehension check. Class will discuss this later. Okay, let's move on to the second part of the story and find out what happens. So in the second part, Velu follows his friend through the crowded streets to a big building. Behind the building, there is a big garbage bin. Velu wonders why are there at all. Okay, why they are there at all. So let's continue reading. He got up with the girl and she was leaving the station. When they got to the road, Velu found that the vehicles kept coming and never stopped for anyone. Smoke and dust flew at him from all sides, making his head spin. So it was city, isn't it? So it was full of. He had come away from his village life to a city life where there were a number of vehicles. Industries would have already been put up at place. So industrial smoke was disturbing him. His head was spinning already because he was hungry also. Okay. So they had to wait for a long time before they could find a gap to run through and get to the other side of the road. Okay. Velu kept hesitating and the girl finally dragged him to the other side. So Velu did not want to, follow, but finally the girl dragged him. She pulled him to the other side. Okay. So she says, "What do you think you are doing? Grazing cows? Are you grazing cows? Are you trying to make your cows have some grass? If you stand around in the middle of the road like that, you'll be chutney. Chutney, you all know, right, class? What chutney is? Chutney, you can say, is an Indian appetizer, right? We can make a chutney with a lot of things. It could be peanut butter chutney, it could be tomato, coriander chutney, and all. Clear? It's basically, let's say, semi-solid sometime with a lot of spice, lasun, garlic, and all. Okay. So she says, you will be grinded, you will fall dead if you stare at the road like that, if you try to cross it. Okay. Velu's heart was still beating fast. He had never seen so many vehicles like that. He looked back at Central Station and the traffic speeding by. How had they managed to come through that? He was wondering. They walked along the side of the road under some sea. You just take a look how crowded the street is. Okay. Huge signboards. So Velu looked up at the pictures. Banyans, car tires, pens, a woman holding a box. So different kind of ad hoardings were placed, isn't it? So Velu was just taking a look at them. The writing was all in English, so he didn't know what it meant. So Velu did not have privilege to go to school. We know the reason why, isn't it? So he couldn't understand what was written on the signboard. The girl turned in onto a wide bridge and walked up. Velu stopped and peeped over the railing. Under him, the road ran into the city. In the distance, he could see huge buildings and towers and more roads. Okay, so they had got onto a bridge and they started walking. Velu was just taking a look. He was peeping down over the railing. So he could see road running into the city, tall buildings and towers. Okay. See that building with wall around it. If you are not careful, you'll soon be counting bars there. The girl grinned and pointed at a huge building. Okay. So Velu squinted and read Tamil sign, Central Jail. Okay. So that building was nothing but Central Jail. Okay. So the girl warned him. She said, if you're not careful, you'll be counting bars there. You may be put behind the bar. Okay. He said, why? I haven't done anything wrong. Velu said, no, why should I be put behind the bar? I haven't done anything wrong. She says, you don't have to do anything. Just don't get caught. That's all. So she says, just don't get caught. Just stay away. What does she mean? Velu wondered. So Velu was wondering, why is this girl telling me all these things? Meanwhile, the girl was already heading down the bridge with a sack on her shoulder. What was in it? He had seen her putting plastic cups into it at the station, right? She was picking racks. So, what are you carrying in that bag? Things, bottles, paper. Velu wondered what she was doing with them, but he felt shy to ask any more questions. He was not asking. Okay. It was still morning, but the sun blasted down. Means it was really very warm summer morning. On the tar. Tar here refers to metal road. Okay. So sun on metal road in central India, what happens classes if the temperature is really high, the tar seems to be hitting up to that point wherein it might get stuck on your feet and all sometime. Okay. So Velu was not wearing any chappal or any slippers or shoes. His feet were burning. Okay. It was not like walking on a mud road because he was used to walking on a mud road. He was soaked with sweat. There was so much sweat. He tried hard to work in the shade and keep up with the girl at the same time. He wanted to maintain speed with the girl. He worked really fast. How far away was the food? He was wondering. So after almost an hour of walking, they stopped in front of a big building. The building read Sri Rajarajeshwari Prasanna Kalyana Mandapam. Okay. So Velu was reading this. It was a sign with letters made of flowers. Say groom. Okay. Groom JB Vinayagan bride Rani. So it seemed as though some sort of marriage ceremony was going on onto a building where they were approaching. Okay. Bridegroom's name were written. So Velu stared at the big cars parked outside. Huge cars were parked outside. One of the cars had a flower garland and roses stepped onto it. Cars are decorated during marriage, so customary. The girl looked around, pulled one off quickly, and stuck it in her hair. So what did the girl do? She looked around, pulled one of the roses, and then she stuck it in her hair. Okay. Come on, she said. Are we going to eat here? Asked Velu, looking at the huge hall and people inside. So Velu was wondering whether they would be going inside and having food there. Okay. Hopes, said the girl, shaking her thumb under her nose. She was saying, I think, let's hope. She led him behind the hall. There was a big garbage bin overflowing with rubbish. So there was this garbage bin. Such a sad part here, class. These children are going to eat by collecting food from garbage. Okay. Two gods were standing on the pile, fighting for a banana leaf. A cloud of flies buzzed around their legs. There was a rotten smell in the air. The girl picked up a squashy banana and held it out to Velu. See, such a sad scene is what is being described here. So the girl picks up a banana that got squashed completely. Okay, somehow squashed means pressed. And then she gives it to Velu, says, here's your food. Velu was shocked. He says, are we going to eat their leftovers? Gee, what do you think I am? A dog? I only take untouched food. Here, some more, catch. She threw him a vada. Okay, vada also is a food, Indian food. So Velu looked at it with distaste. Velu was angry. She was picking up food from this big bean and then she was handing it over to Velu one by one. So Velu was angry. Really angry. Because he was never used to eating from garbage piles and all. You see, two gods are also fighting for a piece of banana leaf, isn't it? Come on, hero, eat it. You think I like it? I told you I'll find you something to eat. Don't think I have money to buy food for you. You'd better eat what you get until you have your own money. So she was giving her a life lesson. You said, I promise you that I'll give you food, but I don't have enough money to get you food from hotel or something. Eat it so that you survive. Okay. Velu hesitated. But his stomach squeezed him again. He did not want to eat. But then he was feeling bad. He gulped down the banana and vada. He somehow ate it. Okay, he swallowed them quickly. Alright. His stomach felt better immediately. As he was having something, his stomach was feeling better. He could have eaten at least 10 times more, but the girl could find only one more banana, which she ate herself. See, so in a way, you'll say the girl was very, very helpful, isn't it? But then it's very, very sad to find that people still have to eat from garbage pile, isn't it, class? So let's continue. It's too early. They've only eaten tiffin. If you're still hungry, you'll have to wait for them to finish lunch. You can wait if you want. She says, they have just finished up their tiffin, like breakfast. After lunch, more food would be coming up. Okay. And then she says, I have to go, I have to work, I'm going. So she picked up a couple of bottles from the heap and threw it into her sack. Then she walked off. Right? Velu panicked. He realized that if the girl left him, he had no idea where he was and what to do. It was better to stick to her. She seemed to know her way around. He ran after her again. Hey, he called. He did not even know the girl's name. Hey, what is your name? He asked, hurrying behind her. Okay. So she stopped and turned around. Oh ho, so you have been following me around without even knowing my name. Jaya. So the girl says, oh, you have been following me around without even knowing my name. My name is Jaya. He says, I'm not following you. She says, what then? Who got you food? Velu says, can I come with you? Where are you going? He says, come if you want. This bag is full. I have to go home to get another one. So she had to collect all this. Comprehension, we'll talk about it later. Now comes the third part of the story, class. Let's see what it has got. Okay. It says, there is a row of huts near dirty puddles. Outside one of the huts, Jaya dumps a sack. Grateful to his friend, Velu thinks of the days ahead. So Jaya and Velu walked along the roads for half an hour until they came to a bridge across a dirty trickle of water. Now they continued walking until they reached a bridge which had this dirty water flow. Okay. We are in a Tripoli can now. See, that's Buckingham Canal, Jaya. So Jaya was making fun of this place where they had come. Okay. Velu stared. This was a canal? Near some puddles of water was a row of strangest huts he had ever seen. So it was some sort of slum dwelling cities, class. They were built out of all sorts of things. So what were these huts made up of? All sort of things: metal sheets, tires, bricks, wood and plastic. They stood crookedly. Crooked means band shape, as though they were about to. They looked like they wouldn't hold much longer. Okay. So like it said, they look like as though they would fall any moment. Okay. So Velu asks, is this where you live? This house are strange, said Velu. In our village, the houses are made of mud and palm leaves. So she says, in our village, houses are much better. Jaya went around to one of the huts and dumped her sack outside. Then she picked up an empty one. Okay. So she says, let's go. She turned to Velu and gave him a shove. At least help me now. So by giving him a shove, she said, you can help me now at least. Here, wear this and come with me. So she provides him something and asks him to follow. Okay. So what did she give him? She threw him a pair of old shoes without laces and pushed a sack and stick into his hand. Okay. So she was getting him to work. Velu was confused. What work did he want him to do with these things? Did she want him to do these things? The only work he had ever done was on the landowner's farm. weeding. Weeding means removing unnecessary grass or plantation from crop field and taking cows out to graze. This way Velu's work. Clear? So he was wondering, are there any farms in the city? And he asked the same question to Jaya. Okay. So now what happens? Let's find out. She laughed and thumped her stick on the ground. Farms? There are no farmers here. We are rag pickers. You see? She said, there are no farmers here. We pick dump. Rag pickers? He had no idea what rag pickers are. So she says, see my sack, full of things I've collected. Collected? From where? Asked Value. From rubbish bins. Where else? You collect rubbish? Velu had never heard of such a thing. Hey, blockhead! It's not any rubbish. Only paper, plastic, glass, such things. We sell it to Jam Bazaar Jaggu. Okay. So there is a person called Jaggu. He lives in Jam Bazaar maybe. They pick up these things and then sell them. Alright? Velu was puzzled. He was confused. He had heard of people throwing away rubbish. Yes, people were not supposed to collect rubbish, isn't it? They throw it away. But why would anyone want to buy rubbish? Who's Jam Bazaar Jaggu? Why is he buying all this? She says, you think he buys it for show? He sells it to factory. Come on, I don't have time to waste, like you. Velu did not move. He hadn't run away and come to this new place to dig through garbage bins. Jaya poked at him with her stick again. Look here, she shouted. If someone gets there before us, we don't get anything. Don't just stand there posing. Big hero. I'm trying to help you. Who filled your stomach today? She was asking. Okay. So Velu scratched his head and sighed. I'll do it for now, he thought, until I find a better job. So this is what, class? It's quite a sad story, isn't it? It shows how children from broken home, children facing some sort of problem had to go through so much of mental trauma and all, isn't it? So this is compiled or written by a number of writers, Geeta Wolf, Anushka Ravishankar, Arijit Sen, and it's from Trash on Rag Picker Children and Recycling. Okay. So this is the conclusion of the story, class. So there are 3 parts. On the first part, we saw how Velu ran away. Second part, how he met this girl, how he followed her. Third part, how she led him to a new work. Okay. Comprehension check. There are questions like Velu stood on the platform, but he felt as if he was still on a moving train. Why? Physics is involved here. What made him feel miserable? So class, try these questions on your own. Alright. You got to try this question on your own and this comprehension check. These are very simple. Let's find out what do we have. We have some exercises. It says, is Velu a smart boy? Which instance in the text shows that he is or he isn't? What do you think? Well, I believe running away from home was not a smart decision, but then he could not bear getting beatings from his father any longer, isn't it? So, considering that fact, let's say Velu was smart because he decided to follow Jaya, as he understood that there was no one but Jaya who could help her. Second question. Do you think Jaya is a brave and sensitive child with a sense of humor? Of course, Jaya is a brave and sensitive child with a sense of humor, because she saw Velu all alone and somehow connected with him. She knew he could be in trouble, so she came as a help. She led him to a place wherein she provided him food, and then she was also providing him a work, be it temporary or whatsoever you'd like to call it. But then she showed extreme courage in helping the child, isn't it? She was kind nature also. So you could develop it. Then 3. What one throws away as waste may be valuable to other. Absolutely. What one throws away as a waste may be valuable for others. This is one life lesson here. Yeah. After that, there are questions like what one throws away. This question was already read. It says, do you find this sentence meaningful in the context of the story? Of course. Because you see, Velu and Jaya in the story were collecting food from a bean which was stuffed with leftover food or thrown away food, wherein animal were also in conflict over a banana leaf, isn't it? So this shows we should be really very careful. Think it over. It says the best investment that a country can make is to put milk into its children. Correct. People don't notice goodness because it is transparent like water and air. Only if it runs out does it become noticeable. It's never too late to have a happy childhood. So class, wonderful. C. Is it someone you know? A busy official known for his love of animal was once passing through a village in his cart. So suddenly he asked the cartman to stop and tried to listen to what sounded like a wail from away. The cartman said, and the cartman asked, is there a man you know? The official replied, no, it's a dog I don't know. Yeah. So this is it, class. It's a wonderful story. Take you. You have a great responsibility as you grow up. You have to help this country fight all this social evil like child labor. Okay, let's try to make a conducive country for all of us. With this, we come to conclusion of today's class. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Bye bye. Have a great time.